After owning my Tesla Model 3 for over 6 years, there was one question everyone kept asking me. Why would you leave Tesla, especially when the obvious upgrade seemed like to be a Model Y? But instead I bought something completely different, a BMW iX xDrive 50. So what made me walk away from Tesla after all those years? If you followed the series so far, you'll know I went from one Renault Zoe to another Renault Zoe and then to a Tesla Model 3. The Model 3 completely changed my expectations of what an electric car could be. But eventually I found myself wanting something different, and this is the story of how I ended up here. The car I eventually bought was a BMW iX. Before we get into it, there's one thing I should mention. I've only owned the BMW iX since February, so these aren't long-term ownership conclusions. They are simply my first impressions after living with the car for the last few months. As I spend more time with it, I'm sure there'll be things I appreciate even more, and probably a few things that'll start to annoy me too. But this episode isn't a long-term review. It's about why I chose the BMW iX in the first place. So why change at all? The truth is there was nothing fundamentally wrong with my Tesla Model 3. After more than 6 years of ownership, I still think it's one of the best electric cars you can buy. But over those 6 years, my priorities had started to change. I found myself wanting more comfort, a quieter cabin, more space, and a car that felt a little bit more refined on longer journeys. It wasn't that the Tesla had become a bad car. It was simply that what I wanted from my next car had changed. And that's what started me looking elsewhere. If I'd been completely satisfied with the Model 3 and simply wanted a bit more space, then the Model Y would have probably been the obvious choice. The problem was I wasn't just looking for more space. I was also looking for more comfort, more refinement, and a different overall driving experience. While the Model Y improved on the Model 3 in a number of areas, it still carried over many of the characteristics I'd been living with for 6 years. The interior was still very minimalistic. The ride could still be quite firm, depending on the model, and although you'd benefit from newer hardware, it still felt like an evolution of the same car, rather than something genuinely different. I was really interested to see what Tesla would do with the Juniper Model Y, but in the end it still felt like more of the same. And by that point I'd realised I wasn't looking for another version of the same experience. I was looking for something completely different. So what else did I look at? There were quite a few options. Cars like the BMW iX3, the i4, the Kia EV6, the EV3, the EV5, the Mercedes EQC, and the Volkswagen ID.7. All made it onto my shortlist at one point or another. I've never really been someone who's loyal to a particular brand. If a car offers the right combination of technology, practicality, comfort and value, then I'm happy to consider it. I judge every car on its own merits. What's funny is I'd actually forgotten the BMW iX even existed. I remember seeing one when it first came out. I even took a photo of it because it wasn't quite sure of what to make of the design. It was different, it certainly caught my attention, but I never really considered owning one. Then I moved on and completely forgot about it. It wasn't until I started researching potential replacements that the iX appeared on my shortlist again. By that point, depreciation had brought in a price range that I could actually consider. And when I looked at everything it offered, it suddenly ticked almost every box I was looking for. That was the moment I realised I needed to take it seriously. So what does BMW do better? For me, the biggest difference is the feeling of the car. The cabin is noticeably quieter, the ride is more comfortable, and the overall interior quality feels like a genuine step up. After spending 6 years in the Model 3, it was immediately obvious that BMW had put a huge focus on comfort and refinement. There are also lots of small touches that, on their own, might not seem like a big deal, but together they make the car feel much more luxurious. Things like the head-up display, ventilated seats, massage seats, and the ambient lighting all add to the experience every time you get in behind the wheel. The heads-up display is a great example. Tesla never really embraced the idea, and while there are third-party options available, I've always preferred features that are properly integrated by the manufacturer. Having your speed and navigation projected directly in your line of sight is something I've quickly become used to. BMW also gives you more flexibility in how the car behaves. There are lots of little settings you can customize to suit how you use the car. One example is being able to lock the car without accidentally leaving family members trapped inside. It's those kind of details that make the ownership experience feel much more thoroughly designed. And then there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Rather than relying entirely on the manufacturer's software, I can use the apps and services I already have on my phone. It means the entertainment experience isn't limited by whatever software the car happens to include. None of these things completely change the driving experience on their own, but together they create a car that feels more comfortable, more refined, and ultimately better suited to what I was looking for. Now, does that make the BMW iX perfect? No, of course not. For me, there are still a few areas where Tesla has the advantage. The first is charging. BMW has access to a huge public charging network these days, but Tesla's supercharger network is still hard to beat. If you own a Tesla, you know you'll be able to use any supercharger, and that level of reliability is still a big selling point. The second is software. BMW have definitely improved over the years, and my iX still receives updates. But Tesla really set the benchmark for regularly adding new features and refining the car long after you'd bought it. The same goes for the mobile app. BMW's app works well enough, but it can sometimes feel like you're waiting for the car to catch up. With Tesla, everything feels almost instant. The car updates in real time, commands are acknowledged immediately, and it gives you the impression that you're always connected to the vehicle. Finally, there's the user interface. BMW offers far more customization, but with that comes more menus and more settings to learn. Tesla's approach is much simpler, and sometimes that's exactly what you want. None of these were enough to stop me choosing the iX. They were simply trade-offs I was happy to make. At the end of the day, there isn't a perfect electric car. Every manufacturer has their own strengths and compromises, and every driver values different things. For me, after more than 6 years with the Tesla Model 3, my priorities had changed. I wasn't looking for just another electric car. I was looking for one that better suited where I am now. And that's exactly what led me to the BMW iX. I don't regret buying the Model 3. In fact, I think it was the most important car I've owned. But for where I am now, the BMW iX is simply the better fit. It gives me everything I still love about electric cars, while adding the comfort and refinement I was starting to miss. Next time I'll talk about the cars I nearly bought instead of the BMW iX, and why they ultimately didn't make the cut. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate a like, and consider subscribing if you'd like to follow the rest of my EV journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.